This is Carl the Cobra Frutch, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. We're here in Manchester ahead of Saturday night's huge show at the AO Arena between Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. Delighted to be joined by the Magic Man, Pauli Malignaggi. Pauli, how you doing, brother?
Good, good. We're doing good. We're excited for the show.
Talk to me about this fight. There's a lot of huge talking factors about this fight. One of those being that Chris Eubank Jr. will team up with Bomac. What will Bomac do differently with Chris Eubank Jr. in just under a month working with each other?
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to be different with Chris Eubank Jr. in a month, but I think it's more psychological. You know, Bomac is with the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terence Crawford. So in joining Bomac, you know, you're just going to work on the most basic stuff. You're not going to complicate things too much because you don't have enough time with the new trainer. But nonetheless, I think for his psychology, I think it'll give him some confidence, regardless. And really, it's a talking point for us. I mean, in the first fight, everybody was wondering how Smith had a chance, and then Smith wins. Now everybody's wondering if Eubank has a chance. So what did the first fight teach us? We don't really know anything. You know what I mean? This is why we're here, and we're here on Fight Week in a big blockbuster card, and we're going to watch and see. But there's a lot of talking points for the fight, of course.
One thing that a lot of people have always rated highly was Chris Eubank Jr.'s chin before the first fight, and Johnny Nelson touched on it in The Gloves Are Off. He said that, you know, whether you've accepted the defeat to Liam Smith, but do you think it was the manner of the defeat that Chris has not been able to accept?
I don't know, man. You know, we've never seen Eubank hurt like that. We've never seen Smith punching like that. So I don't know. I mean, could it have been the elbow? Could it have been the weight? You know, we've got to at least bring it up because we've never seen either guy in the situation that we saw them in, right? But this is why we're having this rematch, kind of to put all these things to bed and give us an emphatic response and an emphatic answer. And I think that's what we're going to get Saturday night. Listen, Eubank, if he's going to make an adjustment, has made the adjustment. He's hired a dietitian, nutritionist. He's got Bomac in the corner. He's told us his back is against the wall, so you know he feels that heat, he feels that pressure. And honestly, it's something that is expected of him. Going into the first fight, this was expected of him. People almost wrote off the ex-world champion Liam Smith. So Liam Smith came in with that chip on his shoulder and knocked him out. So Liam Smith is going to come in with that same chip on his shoulder again because he wants to make sure Eubank accepts the fact that he's been knocked out and then he's not as good. And that's kind of where we're at here. You know, has Eubank made the adjustments? Is Eubank still fresh enough, or is Smith going to be too much?
I mean, just talking about this rematch, now that Chris knows Liam can hurt him, how would you expect Chris to set up stylistically wise? Do you think the performance before the knockout in the first 3 rounds is what you'd expect him to do going into this rematch, or do you think Chris knows that maybe he'll have to try and stick it on Liam and try and get him out of it because Liam has proven in the past he can hurt Chris Eubank Jr.? I
think Eubank was doing a great job in the beginning of the fight, you know, then he got caught and he got hurt. So I think that's what Eubank has to take with him going into the rematch, you know, the positives of the first fight, which there were positives, you know, before he got hurt. So you know, you see what you were doing well, and you need to keep it to that. And that takes consistency, and that's why championship fights and big fights are 12 rounds. They used to be 15 rounds, but they're 12 for that reason. They're still long for that reason, because you can't separate the class of high-level fighters in just 4 rounds or 6 rounds. So if you're a class above, if you're that class, if you're that level, you're going to be able to do it consistently for 12 rounds. And that's what we're here to see. Can Eubank do it consistently against Smith? Or is the consistency with Smith, who has already won world championships and understands this game?
Okay, just moving on, before we do move on, give me a prediction. How does the fight end on Saturday night?
I don't know, man. I'm calling it. I don't want to look like I'm biased by making a prediction and then people say like I'm commentating in one way or the other. Honestly, if I really am honest, I couldn't really be sure one way or the other either way. If I was forced to make a prediction, I would just pick one of the guys. But honestly, you know, it's not an easy fight to predict.
Okay, let's just talk about what went down last weekend in Poland between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois. The main talking point, was it a low blow? Was it not a low blow? A lot of people are saying Daniel Dubois took the easy route out. What was your thoughts? Was it a low blow? And do you think Daniel Dubois may have just took the easy route out?
I thought it was a body shot. I thought it was a good shot. I thought Dubois, you know, landed a good body shot. I thought Usyk was hurt from a body shot. But I also had a big problem with the rain. I don't know if the rain it is a big chance that the rain also caused the bad footing, and it's possible that Usyk is not even in a position to get hit like that if there's no rain on the ground, and because your footwork is totally ruined, your ability to shift is totally ruined when the rain is slick, and Usyk, as he's getting hit with that body shot, is trying to shift over, and he probably can't push off with his back leg. So there's a lot of what ifs. It was handled very, very unprofessionally altogether. I mean, from the wet rain to the way the body shot was handled. Even if you think it's a low blow, Usyk, even if you do think it's a low blow, Usyk is ready after 3 minutes, and Pavone is coaching him to take more time. The referee, it was just a mess. But in the end, to address your last point, I think Dubois did quit. Ultimately, once Usyk got up, he put pressure on Dubois, and unfortunately, I felt Dubois quit, which hurts his ability to get the rematch. His team is going to fight hard for the rematch, but that quitting really, he flat out quit. It was no shot that put him out in any difficult position. He was just being pressed consistently, and he was getting more and more uncomfortable. His body language is telling you he wanted to go, and he found a situation where he could go, and he stayed down.
The fight that everybody wants is Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury. From what you've seen of Usyk's performance against Joshua and Dubois, do you think that Oleksandr Usyk is the only man capable of beating Tyson Fury? Do you think Tyson Fury is just too much for him?
I would still favor Fury, but I think it's a fight that should happen. But in boxing, that doesn't mean it's going to happen, so we'll see.
Before I let you go, Conor McGregor, a guy you know quite well, saying that he wants to fight KSI. We also went down in the press conference between KSI and Tommy Fury. What have you made of the whole situation between KSI and Tommy Fury and Conor McGregor calling out KSI?
I mean, listen, it's talking points. You know, McGregor has been the punching bag at all kinds of levels, at a high level, medium level, lower level. So now he's not going to beat anybody. So he's trying his hand at YouTubers because everybody else beats the shit out of the poor guy. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him for lowering himself all the way to that standard. And you know what? It sells well. He's sort of a cartoon character himself, so, you know, I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea, honestly. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it would actually be competitive in a boxing match, him and KSI or him and Jake Paul. I mean, he's pretty poor in a boxing sense. He's pretty poor as a fighter overall, because when you need balls to be a fighter. So I don't care how many high kicks you can do like Van Damme. If you got no balls, ultimately somebody's going to press you and still put you out of your misery. So, I mean, he's still going to have a problem either way. But you know what? I don't blame him, honestly. I think good on him. Good on him to at least try to find a niche somewhere where he can fit. Well, hopefully, for his sake, he doesn't keep getting the shit beat out of him, because, you know, it's not good for his head. You know, he's already showing signs with the temperamental stuff. You know, with the temperamental stuff becomes like PTSD. You know, and you can tell he's got the shit beat out of him so bad that he's like kind of losing it. So I hopefully, for his sake, he finds a level where he can actually maybe win a fight.
Pauli Malignaggi, pleasure as always. Thank you for talking to Lights Out, bro.
Thanks, guys.